So we're just going to start with the turning the page to the firming ampules. So, and we're not going to pass this around, but you're going to see a firming ampule treatment here in a little bit. So we're going to do firming and hydrating. The firming stem cells, as Dr. Aguilar mentioned, they do help more with the elastin, whereas the hydrating is focused more on collagen. The Cadillac treatment in DNA would be getting both, obviously. You know, that would be, I call it the Cadillac. I should probably say the Lamborghini because there are more expensive cars than Cadillacs. But somehow people still use that word. So the firming ampule, it was created to protect, correct, and rejuvenate the skin due to photo damage and premature aging. This is the one that has the wow factor. This is the one if I'm really trying to win somebody over, I'm definitely going to use the firming ampule. Or I would do the Cadillac treatment where I'm doing both. The firming is so great for that instant effect, but I want to just reiterate that instant tightening that they get is not what we're going for. That's not the only result. Remember, collagen synthesis is not overnight. Collagen takes time, whether you're doing collagen injection therapy like laser or Thermolish or, you know, so many other like dermal rollers. It is something that has to build. So collagen is about a 6-week process to where you do the procedure, you start to see more tightening later. So people need to understand, Dina, yes, you get that firming instantly. And some people, I mean, they just look amazing because their collagen rejuvenates faster than others. I say they have good cell memory. You know, when we work with microcurrent, we see someone look really fast, that's good muscle memory. Who these people are, I chalk it up to this. Circulatory system must be good, up and running, oxygen must be flowing. You're not going to heal if you don't have clean blood. You're not going to heal the same as somebody who does. And I saw all across the board in the medical industry where we do. Thermage, there's 2 women the same age, one will get this great result, one will get almost nothing. And she wanted her money back to be $4,000. So that's why tying this in with things like stem cells, this is collagen synthesis. This is a very passive way to synthesize collagen. No frying on, no cooking on, and changing lives every day. So, but remember the firming is the one that's going to be for your oily combination skin, your more mature skin. I love it personally on acne and for acne scars, but if you're dealing with someone who's dehydrated, they might want to do the hydrating or both. Any questions about the firming stem cells?
Yeah. When you do the Cadillac, do you do the firming first?
You would do the hydrating first and then the firming. So you can really introduce, a lot of the hydrating. This can just be drinks and drinks and drinks, and then the firming kind of.
Is it okay to convey to your client that it's a process, and does that scare them away?
It never scares them away because.
And you can see the change.
When I would take on a new DNA client, I would spend at least 10 minutes. I would book at least 10 minutes to explain to them what we're talking about. So just like anything, whether it is like dermal rolling or microdermabrasion or a series of peels or glycol, everything is a process.
Exactly.
It's all anybody who comes to an esthetician knows it's a process. Otherwise, you're going to a doctor and they're going to fry you a laser, and it's going to take them 10 minutes and they're going to make bank. They come to us for the healing, but with a line like this, we become more powerful. That has been my experience. We can do more for them than what they can get there. And trust me, I've been in the industry, I know, and I've experienced it. So, you guys feel good about that? I don't know if you guys all worked with it, but we're going to do it in a bit. The hydrating, I love this for anybody who's just had a peel, who's burned. We had several people in Santa Fe, New Mexico that I personally was able to work on. A woman who got something similar to Flesh-Eating virus. We used the hydrating ampules on her and saw skin rejuvenation, and also a young man who burned his face. We used the hydrating. You're not going to use that firming on someone who's like, that's the last thing they want to feel is that tightening effect. So, and then after the skin healed, we went ahead and switched over to the firming. It just depends on, how dehydrated the person is. Okay, so This is great for stretch marks, abrasions, pigmentation, phototraumas, and obviously dehydration, dehydrated skin. But again, after the Jesner, if there's still, sensitivity, if you feel like they're not going to be able to handle that tightening, go ahead and use the hydrating. They can follow up later with the firming. Any questions about the hydrating? And again, the hydrating worked more on the collagen, so obviously if we could alternate or use both, that's optimal. And just explain that to the client. You'd be surprised how much women and men want to know. They want, more now than ever, they want more education. And I know you guys do, because I know estheticians. They're like little scientists. They should never demean an esthetician, because they are not only like little witches that want to like help people, because if you're touching people, you're a healer of some sort. You're kind of a witch in some ways. We don't get into this industry to be multi-millionaires, we want to marry bankers and become bankers. We get into this because there's something in us that is a healer, that loves people, that wants to help them. And this is a line that is in line with that ethics, that line of ethics, and that line of mentality. And I'm happy to always help you guys figure that out, like balance that with other modalities that you use to help people as well, or other therapies that you use. So let's go ahead and move along to oh yeah.
How is it that the age is different from what's the difference in the little embryo?
Well, that's more a question for Dr. Agbar, because we'll go into the science of it, but the H is more hyaluronic acid, so it has less different proteins. So proprietary, that's all he really will tell us. But it just doesn't have the same. They definitely look very different when you use them, and we're going to experience that in the hands-on. So we're going to do half hydrating and half firming, so you can see the difference. But it is more hyaluronic. So
there's something happens to the age when they're,
he said that I know that he's never really disclosed that.
We can ask him when he
Yeah, we can ask that part, but yeah.
I thought you said that it was dehydrated hyaluronic acid.
No, this is hyaluronic actually from the cell, from the animal. The hyaluronic I'm talking about is the synthetic one that they make in labs and sell across the nation in a clear liquid. It's not frozen or anything. This is we all have hyaluronic acid in our cells. There's natural hyaluronic. The hyaluronic that we have is not added. It's actually the hyaluronic acid that is from the bovine, that is from the actual stem cell. Yeah, so just like he said, he adds proteins, RNA, DNA. He doesn't disclose exactly the RNA, DNA factors, but one of the other things is the hyaluronic, which comes from the cell wall. We don't synthesize anything. So just be aware that the hyaluronics out there that are in the form of a gel, they have people, microneedling those in. They are using them to kind of boost moisturizers, which would be okay as long as you're not living in like dense climates. But from what I read, the synthetic hyaluronics cause apoptosis. Remember we talked about cell suicide, early cell death, which means premature aging. So while you have a superficial hydrating feeling, it's not doing anything. If anything, it's damaging. So I'm seeing a lot of that out there, a lot of the hyaluronic gels, and they are synthetic. So now back to the hydrating and firming aspects, elastin, collagen. You get both aspects in the sprayers and the sticks. They are combined. You can mix both. So they are, we like to say, a weaker version of the stem cells. So if you turn the page, we start with the sticks. The sticks are, they stay frozen. They're thawed for just a few moments and then placed on the skin, and they are for home use. So I've had estheticians say to me, oh, I don't sell the sticks. I feel like, or the sprays, I feel like it's going to interrupt my sales of the ampules. I feel like why don't they come back to me? And that is the absolute wrong philosophy, because if you understand the way that the stem cells work, the faster you introduce the cell memory, the better. So it would behoove you more to do a series and use them at home than to just span them out and maybe do once a month for the rest of your life. It would be better for you to introduce them up front on a daily basis, because what you're doing is waking. He talks about the copy machine. Cells make a copy of the copy of the copy. We're trying to put the copy back. So, yes, sorry. optimally, it's every 7 to 10 days for a series of 10 to 12 treatments is what I always say. I know in the manual we talk about 6 to 10, but what we're doing in a lot of our protocols are incorporating our peels. And when you're trying to change the structure of someone's skin, remember, you get new skin cells every 3 weeks, right? So every 3 weeks, if you've done a glycolic and you waited a month, you're not actually going any deeper. So you're basically taking off the same dead skin every 3 weeks or every month. So when you send someone on a series of stem cells, you should also be sending them on a series of peels, in my opinion. Our lactic peel is wonderful, it's mild. If you're worried about sensitivities, we have everything, whether it's the enzymes in just one of our masks or whether it's our very polished. We have everything across the board for sensitivities, but just to get some of the intercellular fluid taken away so that we're getting deeper penetration of everything, deeper penetration of the antioxidants in the mask, deeper penetration of the stem cells. So ideally, they use the stem cells at home in the beginning, at least twice a day, or if they're dermal rolling, you can maybe get them to use them about every 3 days. And then with the stem cell treatments, they need to commit to a weekly series, ideally. If it's not cost effective, I would go to the 10-day mark then. But I've never had people have a problem with that. Once you educate people, they will commit. They do understand. And hopefully we can troubleshoot any issues when we do the hands-on as far as, like, if anybody's having any issues. You don't even know what I've seen across the board. I've seen where I've been in a training watching these nurses do a stem cell treatment, and I look over and they haven't even cleansed all the skin. I mean, you can see, like, Zen therapy and gel on the skin, and they're trying to put the stem cells on. So, I see in the field a lot of people doing things maybe a little bit incorrectly, where I'm like, you guys have to wash the face at least a few times. So they're nurses, they're not used to, sometimes they're not used to the cleaning process. But, so we'll troubleshoot a lot of the areas that you guys have. And as far as, I hope I answered your question. And then maintenance once a month, if they could.
So for like a series of 6, they come in every 7 to 10 days and then use the spray or the cryostick twice a day between them.
That would be optimal. That would be the best case
And
scenario.
the peel would be in the very beginning only once.
No, if you're doing, remember that pretty much everything we have in the form of a mask has exfoliating properties. It has either enzymes or you could cocktail in glycolic or lactic or sal, which would be a little more intense, to exfoliate the skin. So you can do our peels weekly, particularly like the lactic, which I recommend. Or if you feel they're too sensitive, you can always use the very polished or the lemongrass. They all have enzymes that are going to help melt that intercellular fluid, get off the dead skin. Remember, men shave every day. Men get a reputation of not aging as quickly as women does. Yes, they shave. It's called exfoliation. They're cheating. Exfoliation is good. Now, you can over-exfoliate, obviously. There are people that go a little too far. But men shave every day, guys. That is exfoliating. Women in Japan have known this for years. They use really special sharp blades. My friends that lived in Japan have shown, I don't even know how you could cut your neck off with that thing. It's scary, but yeah. So exfoliation is key. So don't be afraid. Dr. Aguilar created these ionic peels. I have never had a problem with them. Unless, you do a sal and some, it was more intense than they wanted it to be. And we'll go over each peel, which one is more intense than the other. But if you're doing something that resembles a lactic or enzymes, trust me, you're not going to run into any issues if you do them weekly with your stem cell treatments. Okay? So it does not behoove you to keep the stem cells just like to yourself, like it's just your own precious thing, because you are not doing them a favor. They need to introduce those stem cells over and over again. Guess what? You break off one sprayer and you sell it to them, they're going to be back in a few weeks. If they haven't come in a while, you've got them back in the door. They need their sprayer. What else you got? Let me book something. What else are you going to get? Specials? What are you doing? I've seen it every time because I've not just been with DNA. I'm an esthetician. I've worked in the field. I've worked at some of the spas that we've helped launch in Santa Fe, where we've taken them from doing a few fluff facials a day on tourists to having 2 rooms booked day and night with stem cell treatments. And that's all about education, understanding, marketing, making sure you put up your awesome before and after pictures in the waiting room or laminated in the seating area with the magazines. It's all about, letting them see what you're doing, and then they come to you and ask you what you're doing. And I'm always here to help you with promotional stuff. I love doing that too. So there's no difference between the sticks or the sprays as far as what's in them. Some people prefer one or the other. Obviously, you could break open a box of sticks and sell one for, if you're doing this at just a retail, $49, $50. That's very realistic price for pretty much any budget. As an esthetician, I personally liked for DNA to be affordable to everyone. When I first met Dr. Aguilar, he probably doesn't remember this, but I said, what is the price point? You show me the lotions and the smelling. What is the price point? And he said, I want this to be affordable to the gardener, to the maid, to, the wealthy person who's, hiring these people. I want this. Everybody deserves health and healthy skin. I don't know if you remember saying that to me, but I was like, oh my God, you're crying. So I have that philosophy. I believe that. So I'm always I know the best way is to get to work with people's budgets, to get them the best results. And I'm happy to share any of that with you guys, because I've been in the field. I can help out the single mom with a kid with acne. If you can sell them just two things, sell them either pads, scrub, and stem cells. Correct, pads or scrub and stem cells, whatever they can afford. But we can make this very affordable. And trust me, as somebody who has raised a child on my own in LA, no matter how broke someone is, they can find the money. When they see the results, they will find the money, and you feel good about selling it because you're changing their lives. When you get rid of someone's acne scars, like I did with the first gentleman I worked on with DNA stem cells and microdermabrasion, we didn't have peels yet, he came to me crying saying I changed his life. And he's now a rocker. He gigs in the Viper room, girls throw him their number to him. He couldn't get a girl to look at him before I met him. I mean, I could barely look at him. He had huge cysts all over his face, deep scars. And I did very deep microderms and stem cells, and I saw, because I was trained to do deep microderms, I saw how quickly the skin regenerated with the stem cells, that I got faster and better collagen synthesis. And so, you can change people's lives, and it's just profound. So, anyway, I'm not on that. But you can break up that box of sprays and make it affordable. It's $50. If they can afford it, they can buy the stick. That's going to come to closer to $200, but it's going to obviously last them longer. Once people try the sprayers for some reason, then they try the sticks. They love the sticks, and they're like, "Why didn't you tell me about the stick? I love the stick more." Everybody's different. You can just tell them, "This is what we have. I can start you with this, or I can start you with that," and let them make their own decision. But definitely get them on the products. That is the medicine. That is the strong stuff. Later, they can come for more of the other things, like, "Oh, well, what do they have for a night cream? What do they have for a night cream?" It's one of those things that once you get the right stuff in their hands, they're coming back to you. You don't sell anything. Do you guys have any more questions about stem cells in general, though, as we move on to the dry product?
And if you're going to use a derma roller in treatment, would you use it before or after?
Before. So because our stem cells are fragile, and remember when we do the application, we'll be padding them. So with derma roller, you would derma roll right before, and I would do just one area, like a cheek, then stem cell, the other cheek, then stem cell. So just do it, because what you're doing is you're creating, it's like area to go on. You're creating a little microscopic hole. It sounds terrible, but it's a good thing. I mean, most of the time, it's a good thing to drive them in 3 or 4% deeper.
And would it peel the same thing that Jesmer peeled before?
The Jesmer peel is a peel all on its own. It's a very intensive peel. I do like for you, and we'll go over that, to use stem cells before the Jesmer peel, because it gets the skin in shape. It gets the skin ready. Anybody who's doing anything, whether they're about to go get, I don't care if it's a laser or a nose job, or they've got to get that skin in shape, get the skin's immune system functioning, get everything functioning properly before they do things like Jesmer, because it's like an insurance policy. These stem cells are insurance. That's why I'm always shocked that the doctor tries to argue. It's just like, are you kidding? This is like insurance. You mess somebody up, you've got this on your side, and the Zen therapy. But yeah, I hope I answered your question. But okay, so you guys feel good about this jump right into, from the census, we jump into the antioxidant hydrating mask. I could go over everything that's in it, but what I'm gonna tell you is basically, there's antioxidants in every mask that we have. Yes, this is an antioxidant mask. It does incorporate clay, so you can use it. It's beneficial for many different skin types. So if you just had one in your back bar, this would be fine. Every one of our masks would be fine for, it stands its own ground, because all of them have tons of antioxidants, all of them have exfoliating factors and enzymes. So this mask in particular is great for dry skin. You can read that in the manual. It's also hydrating. You can see that you can blend, when it says you can mix Floral Bliss, you can mix Hydro Blend. Remember that the whole line is meant to be cocktailed. You can incorporate vitamin C crystals. We're little chemists with DNA. So you can incorporate some Zen therapy. I mean, everything's meant to be cocktailed. It's dummy proof. You could not mess up. You could also mix in one of the peels with it if you wanted to save some time, which I could probably show you how I do it if you feel like you want extra time to do, maybe you've got more extractions than you thought you were going to have to do. If you need to save some time, you can always blend the peels together with the masks, okay? So this is a hydrating mask, and we're going to skip through everything pretty quick, but you can always go back and read about everything. Enzyme firming mask, this is awesome before extractions. It is awesome. It softens the skin. It really helps everything come out much easier. But as I said, there's antioxidants in every mask. I mean, when you look at the ingredients, you're seeing all the things that, are going to firm the skin, hydrate the skin. So it's not like you're just getting a clay mask that's going to just dry and pull things out. It has many different facets to it. So, and it does have enzymes that exfoliate the skin. We incorporate the salicylic acid with it, which is from sweet Amazon birch, not from aspirin, which makes us superior. Oh wait, I skipped, sorry. Enzyme firming mask. Again, you're seeing ingredients like spinach, salicylic, sal coming from sweet Amazon birch, pineapple papaya. You're seeing the skin exfoliate and hydrate at the same time. You can read more about it, the firming effect of the mask, but this mask I get a lot of questions about because it is a powder form. People don't know how to mix it. There's so many different ways to mix it. I like to use warm water. I like to add vitamin C crystals. I like to add, even some vitamin A. I'm very much like the mad chemist in the back. You can't mess up. So, when you want to know what to use, I don't know, you just kind of feel it. It's hard to explain. That's not very hippie, but with this line, you can really pretty much do anything. That's the magic of it. This mask, though, when you're mixing it, you can incorporate things like the Hydro Blend. It's very earthy. It smells very much like a green smoothie. So if you wanted to sweeten it up with the elasticity oil, make it more, therapeutic. We'll get into the potency of the oil in a second. Yes, it's perfect. That's what I mean. You can do. She's mixing it with a cleanser. You can do anything. I mean, it's pretty much foolproof. So don't worry. The Berry Polish. I'm not gonna lie, it's my favorite. Everybody has their favorite. I'm in love with the Berry Polish. Again, antioxidants. You have enzymes that melt the intracellular fluid to a certain degree. You have the mango, which is enzyme rich, but also the smell is phenomenal. You just get a glow on the skin that is to die for. You do with all the masks, but I just have a fascination with this one. I love the strawberry leaf, the complete vitamin C in it. It's very healing. It stimulates cell turnover. It's anti-inflammatory, as are most of the herbs in the entire line. So you see a lot of anti-inflammatory herbs throughout the line. The Citrus Burst Cleanser. This cleanser was really one of the first cleansers that we worked with, along with the cream of nectar, but this one is firming or refines texture. Again, you're seeing rich in antioxidants. All you have to do is look at the ingredients like ginger root, inflammatory things. Again, you're seeing the things that if you were to go to a natural doctor, you're seeing the kind of herbs they would give you to help heal organs. The skin is an organ. When people ask me what defines DNA, we treat the skin like an organ, not like a barrier. It's a functioning lung. The skin is a lung. And we need to let people know that if you cover the skin in the wrong kind of paint, you would asphyxiate and die. The skin is a lung. And it's happened many times in New York lofts where they've covered a beautiful tall model in the wrong paint and she kills over and dies of asphyxiation. People need to understand the skin is a lung. It is a living organ. It is the largest organ, so we treat it as such. So moving on to cream of nectar again, antioxidants. This one's more emollient, so this is going to be for a more mature skin, a more dehydrated skin. If you've got someone who's going through chemotherapy, someone with rosacea, this is a really wonderful. Honestly, in a spa setting, if you're trying to make it, you're doing, skin rejuvenation in your treatment. But if you want to make it more spa-like, this is the cleanser to start your treatment out with. I mean, women die from this now. Again, you're getting your antioxidants, you're getting all those herbs that we talked about. In every single product, you're getting all of those factors. The Phytolipid Hydrating Scrub. This scrub has tea tree. It is very uplifting. If you leave it in the shower, men will steal it. It's great for shaving. It is across the board. Everyone needs this scrub. Everybody. There's not one person I wouldn't put this on this scrub. It incorporates the jojoba beans, so it's not just scrubbing, it's moisturizing, but it's also, again, putting the antioxidants on the skin. And if you guys get to smell that one, it's Medicare Skin Lightening Wash. He was talking about tyrase inhibitors. Our lightening line does incorporate the tyrase inhibitors. These kind of suppress the pigmentation. They're very powerful. When you just combine the lightening wash with the vitamin C, and you can just kind of work on somebody's brown spot, you can see it lifting immediately. So I highly recommend these for people with hyperpigmentation. And obviously we'll talk about vitamin C in a second, but incorporating the vitamin C in there.
And you're talking pads or wash?
Oh, sorry, I was on the wash.
Okay.
No, let's talk about the pads. The pads are strong medicine. So, I recently had an issue where someone in New Mexico sold a woman who had adult acne, but she was not that old. I mean, she wasn't a teenager. She was in her 40s. And they told her to use these pads twice a day. That was not the right thing to do. And so what it did is it really dried her out severely. These pads are quite strong. So if you've got an adult, you don't want to dry them out. I would incorporate the scrub most days and use the pads, here and there, maybe once or twice a week. This is salicylic acid. But if you're dealing with a teenager who's, has a ton of oil, yes, of course they can use them more frequently. But sell them the scrub as well, because the tea tree, the antimicrobial activity of the tea tree is so amazing. So I'm a big fan of the scrub for acne. I know it's not part of our acne line, but as an esthetician, I'm telling you, the scrub is phenomenal too. And a lot of teenagers, they're not going to spend a lot of time on their face. So anything that's simple and feels good and smells good at the same time is good for the parents. But the Medicare pads, you can cut them in half, and if you can let your clients know you can cut them in half, and it can make it more cost effective for the people on a budget or for the teenagers who they're sick of spending money on. Okay, so let's move on to the moisturizers. So I love the moisturizers. Again, you just look at the ingredients, like the Phytocollagen Moisturizer, Echinacea. You guys know Echinacea. Boosts your immune system. But it also helps the circulatory system. It does so many other things. And I can look at an ingredient list and even Whole Foods or some product line that's organic, and I see things that are actually going to cause the circulatory system to be sluggish. And so constantly you're seeing these herbs that increase the circulatory. What did I tell you guys about oxygen in the blood? What makes collagen work? What makes it so you can stimulate collagen? oxygen, circulation. So I hope that's driven home for you guys, because this is so important to understand that, you know, if they're using these toxic products and retinols and all these things, you know, retinoids, it's countereffective to what they're doing when they come to see you. So it's all about educating them about their skin and what it's doing from a medical standpoint.
Can you explain a little bit further how collagen is synthesized through oxygen?
Okay, so if your body is like Dr. Aguilar, if you have stagnant blood, the things that are going to affect the skin the most is clearing up the stagnation. So if you don't have oxygen in your blood, you have poor circulation. And oxygen is a healer. Oxygen is what creates the healing process. So if you're not going to synthesize collagen, if I fall off my bike and scrape my knee and I'm void of all these wonderful things like vitamin C, which I'll talk about vitamin C, why it's so important. We're not going to synthesize, I'm not going to heal very well if I, have dirty blood and I'm toxic. What I saw in the medical industry over and over that perplexed all of us was why? Why did this European descent, 55-year-old, come in with a friend, they look almost the same, like they both have the same thin, white, pale skin. Why did her friend get such a great result with a laser or a thermage radio frequency, and the other got almost nothing?
Because she has more oxygen.
Because she's healthier. Because if you have a dirty body, if you have organs working, if you have toxic organs, if you have this poor circulatory system, your body can't be bothered to make collagen. It's got other things it's working on. So, I had the luxury of working on Ali Milan in Santa Fe, New Mexico. That woman at 70 years old started her stem cell treatments and her microcurrent, and let me tell you, she lifted like a 20-year-old. And she got confidence back, she did Oprah, let me tell you something, she's in that yoga class every day, she eats only organic, she eats only grass-fed beef and organic chicken. I mean, the woman knows her stuff. And I was privy to getting to see how quickly she could regenerate based on how clean her lifestyle is.
Now, can you incorporate, if you have medical oxygen in your treatment room as an oxygen therapy, how would that incorporate to increase the synthesization?
Well, you mean oxygen that you basically
Yeah.
shoot at the skin. We have a lot of accounts that actually put the cryostem cells into the oxygen and use it at the same time.
So you can.
Yes, you can. And we could talk to, we have a spa, that's highlighted actually in the newsletter, Spa Care Spain. That's absolutely what they do to it.
So the pressure doesn't affect the efficacy of the stem cells?
They think so. It was never our protocol, but we certainly are happy to share that with you. And someone's here from Twist. Twist is going to do that soon. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I believe Twist is going to start doing it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But this is how estheticians can bring up what people need. This is how we create this conversation. You're going to do better based on your diet and your lifestyle. I'm sorry, I've seen it for 15 years. I have proof, there's no way I'm denying it. So maybe they didn't come in for a lecture about gluten or, how dirty their blood is. But you know what? They're going to get an education. By God.
Somebody asked me a question about why are moisturizers, and the doctor might want to answer this.
Oh.
Don't have SPF.
Why they don't have the SPF in them. Okay.
Do you want to answer that real quick, doctor?
What's the question?
Why the moisturizers don't have it, or why would you not put SPF in the moisturizers like so many companies do?
Well, there are two different mechanisms. One is for moisture penetration, and the other one's to actually create a physical barrier. So if you have elements and constituents in your product that's meant for creating a field of protection, that means that either things aren't going to penetrate or things are going to just stay on the surface. You can't have both. So you can have some of the nicest ingredients in a silicone, usually in a sunscreen, and all you're really feeling is what's stayed on the skin. So people are thinking, oh, it's nice, it's moisturized, then they wash it off and it's dry as can be. So that's why. But we do have a separate, 25 SPF. So you can also blend it and put it on after. Because it's meant to stay on top That's why.
So they polarize each other.
Yeah. It's kind of like saying you've got all these great ingredients and moisturizers that's trying to get them in, but then the other ingredients are holding them back. Or they're going to break down one or the other and suck in the stuff you don't want to suck in. So you don't want that. So I think they should be completely independently stable and then used that in that manner.
And most people are dealing with chemicals on screens. We're using only physical block. And when I talk about sunscreen, I'll tell you how serious the chemical stuff is. But anyway, so we're on the Super Fighter Rich. Again, a lot of people will pick up and see the progesterone, and you need to remind them that it's trace amounts and it's there just for the collagen synthesis. It's not going to be enough to affect them physically. It's trace amounts. So anybody who's already on progesterone or estrogen cream, sometimes that's the first thing they notice. Like, oh, no, it's trace amounts, almost homeopathic, like a homeopathic dose. It's not going to go in the bloodstream or affect the hormones at all. Incorporating horsetail, echinacea, shade grass. I mean, I implore you to go through the manual and read about all the nutrients and antioxidants. But again, there's antioxidants throughout the line, so each moisturizer has its own. This one's just a little more dense. If you live in the desert population, if that's where most of your clients are, you know, more than likely you're going to reach for this one more so than the other ones unless you're dealing with someone who has a lot of oil. Remember, you can always incorporate more. You can always incorporate if you want more oil. A lot of people, because they're so used to dimethicone, they're always saying it's not moist enough. That's what the boosters are for, guys. Add the elasticity, add the moisture drops. That's like your organic silicone, because most people are used to this and they're used to this fake slip and glide. I'll be a sucker and try something like that here and there, and my skin gets even drier later. So, and there's a reason for that. And we don't want to be causing that apoptosis, the cell suicide, by using all petroleum. Just for that 5 seconds of moisture, it's worth it. The anti-aging eye repair cream, this is nutrient dense. We incorporate natural source of vitamin K. For the dark circles, vitamin K is also been proven to stimulate collagen. Most estheticians don't know that, but listen, cocktail this eye cream in with your moisturizer. Tell your clients, cocktail this in with a moisturizer. You're going to get that nutrient-rich vitamin K, which does also synthesize collagen. There's not a lot of collagen synthesizers out there. There's peptides, there's stem cells, there's vitamin K, and there's vitamin C. Topically, that's pretty much it.
What about elastin synthesizers?
As far as DNA goes?
Yeah.
Well, the stem cells, the fermented stem cells, the elastin, and then the vitamin C. Your skin can't stimulate, we'll get to the C, of course, but your skin does not stimulate collagen very well without vitamin C. So we talked about me falling off my bike and being vitamin C deficient internally. I don't care how much vitamin C you take internally, and I believe this is in the newsletter, it's not reaching the layers of the skin. So I've talked to women across the board, seen lots of videos where they've used the vitamin C powders, and that's all they've ever used. And they look 20 years younger than they should. I mean, we need vitamin C topically. I can't encourage that enough, but I'm not on the vitamin C yet, of course. But the peptides, remember, peptides incite your own stem cells. They also incite the growth of new collagen. And I believe elastin as well, but I prefer fuels. It's my answer to everything. The best.
I just have a quick question about your moisturizer. Maybe we're going to get to it in the acne line, but all of the moisturizers seem normal to dry mature. There's nothing about oily or normal to oily. Is there a moisturizer that you, or do you just recommend taking out every day if you have more oily skin?
Yeah, if you're talking about like a teenager, that's what the Oceana mineral gel, we favor that.
Okay,
For the
so that is
teenagers.
moisturizer.
I mean, honestly, again, most people in this country, internally and obviously externally, are lacking in minerals. I recommend a mineral gel for everyone. Again, cocktail it in and explain. Minerals also help support collagen synthesis. So, but the mineral, yeah, as we get, keep going with it. That's your best friend for this, for teenagers too. Okay, so we did the eye cream, the vitamin K, awesome. Okay, I'm gonna do it. The Metaclear Skin Lightening Gel. Okay, just really fast. This is, I'm trying to tell really fast. Okay, there was a woman who got a little hyperpigmentation by a not-so-well-trained esthetician at Swan Santa Fe. She did Fitzpatrick 4, she went crazy on the little, it was like a freckle, and it was way too close to the eye, we all know this is a thinner skin. Went crazy with the microderm, ablated the skin, it swelled, what did she do? Everything wrong. She ran to ice and sent the woman home. What would I have done? Would given her some therapy, put stem cells on. And I would have obviously let her back to fix it, or called about her, but she was completely ignored, went home, it scabbed. It was never that thing to scab, especially if it's going to get to that point. Scabbing makes scars. So the Zen applied and left on the skin would have prevented that scar. So all of a sudden this woman who is African American but of a light descent has this kind of streak on her face of hyperpigmentation. She's not happy. So she didn't want this woman to touch her again, so they called me and said, "You gotta fix this. Please help us. We don't want to be sued. Let's do something." So I went in there, I did stem cells, I did some LED, I did very gentle microdermabrasion to try to bring it up. I was getting so frustrated. He had just come out with the Medicare line. I was in New Mexico. I hadn't really been completely trained on it yet. I mean, it was literally the first batch had rolled out, and I had it in my arsenal. And I said, "Here, I don't know." I just handed her the Medicare Lightning Challenge. I was ready to cry. And she came back a week later, and she was happy because 50% defeated. And then pretty soon, a couple more treatments and continuing the gel, it was gone. Just because it's organic doesn't mean it's not going to be really strong and effective. Okay, so it has the tiredness inhibitor. Obviously, I'm a more aggressive esthetician than a lot of estheticians. I like peels. So if you're peeling someone and you're trying to get rid of pigmentation, you've got to incorporate our lightning wash and our lightning gel. Okay, it's so helpful, and we don't want people on Retin-A. I mean, I've seen women look 20 years older than they should on Retin-A, especially if they have a thin European skin type like I do. You know, if they have a thick skin like my half sister who's got one, a Native American, fine, she can use it here and there. But I'm just not a fan of what it does to skin like ours. It thins it, it gets papery, they get capillary damage. We have awesome retinol that is derived from fish. It is amazing, our vitamin A. It's a natural retinol that incorporates a lot of antioxidants. It's the right way to do it. Sorry, we're not on that yet. Medicare Acne Serum, I'll just skim through that. Great for your acne clients. It balances the sebum production, and guess what else does? The stem cells. So the stem cells get the cells communicating on the cellular level. They get the cells happy. I go across the country and I have people say, "I see your before and afters of acne. I see that. I'm not getting that result. Oh, tell me, what are you using?" I'm using I'm using the acne serum, and I've got them on the pads. So we just have them. I've got, you guys can know. I've got them on the regular pads. I've got them on the acne serum. I know if I don't hear stem cells, I know that's why they're probably not getting results. Remember, they regulate the skin as well. Don't forget about the stem cells when you use acne. I'm sorry, for acne? Don't forget about using the stem cells for acne. I see it across the board where people are just relying on. The acne? Yes. Or the spray. They can. Yeah, sorry, I don't know how. This is fine.
Okay.
So, the Zen Therapy Gel, this is, oh, sorry, yes.
I need to go back to the stem cells. You said when the woman did 2 weeks of microdermabrasion,
Yes.
that skin was raw.
Yes.
You would put the stem cells on the raw skin?
I actually would, how raw it was, I don't know. I didn't do the treatment. I have a feeling it was quite abrasive, not bloody though. It wasn't bleeding. It was just because she was a Fitzpatrick 4 that she got that kind of pigmentation. But yeah, it was enough to, it was inflamed. It swelled. That's why she grabbed the ice. Whether you were seeing the clear fluid that comes out before blood, I wasn't there. But yes, absolutely, I would.
If it has a little cut or something, you can put the stem cells open. Usually it says don't put it open.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we have doctors that do that, and after post-ablative therapies and after dermal rolling, I mean, if you think about it, dermal rolling, you are seeing some pinpoint bleeding.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're not touting that it's completely sterile. I mean, it is cosmetic company. So,
Okay, thanks.
yeah, because it's not antibacterial. It's sterile, but I mean, we are working with it sterilely as well, but we'll go over the sterile environment we create.
I have a question about that. So even though it was high-low pigmentation, you still use the skin lightening?
Oh, no, it was high burn, not high bow. She had, yeah, sorry, no, it was a dark brown streak. So I think the girl was trying to get on a simple freckle that really should have just been left alone. I don't think it was even a hyperpigmentation spot, I think it was like a freckle.
Okay.
I saw it after, so I can only go by what I saw in after, and it didn't sound like it was something no one was even concerned about. So the esthetician just went a little crazy. So Zen Therapy Gel. I can't tell you enough how important Zen Therapy Gel is for cocktailing because it's peptides. And again, we talked about how people are always saying, why do you have peptides in your moisturizer? Why do you have this? Have it in, you know, peptides became one of those things that everybody was talking about 10 years ago when Perricone wrote the Oracle Cure books. He was talking about peptides, hyaluronic, alpha-lipoic acid, vitamin C, DMAE. Those were his big things. Well, Perricone charges about $300 an ounce for his peptide gel. And you get everything in DNA Zen Therapy Gel, but organic and derived from source, not synthetic ingredients, for, what is it, retail, $30-something? $32. That is unheard of. It's unheard of. So if you are doing collagen induction or dermal rollers, you can always incorporate the Zen Therapy with those as well. Oh, okay, yeah. The Zen Therapy, everything in our line is a concentrate, and that's the beauty of it. I mean, these cleansers last forever. But the Zen Therapy, like the vitamin A, like everything else, they're concentrates. We are a green company. We don't use a ton of water like most lines do. We like our packaging to be small. We don't use secondary packaging. So with the Zen in particular, it is sticky. You're not going to use it like a moisturizer. You're just going to cocktail in a pump, a squirt. Okay, so just educate your client on how important that is. Thank goodness we're going to come out with a body lotion, but we're always telling people, because they're always asking, what do we use for body lotion? I tell them to use an almond oil that incorporate a little pump of our vitamin A, a little bit of the Zen, a little bit of the C, or a lot of the C if you want, but if you really want to keep the body firm, the body skin, and I'm a big fan of incorporating the stem cells for full body treatments as well. You use the stem cells on parts of the body that are not completely sun damaged, like the face and the neck and the chest and the arms and the hands. You see regeneration so quickly. I mean, that should tell you what the sun does, but you see it on like thighs, buttocks. We have a woman in Brentwood who was doing just butts, just butts, and getting phenomenal results. Yeah, she was up to here. So the Zen Therapy, if they can understand the value of this, this is crazy. This is crazy. It is awesome for any of you that use radio frequency devices. You can incorporate this as a thin layer right before you use your device. A thin layer of Zen, and then your carrier gel or our organic vegetable glycerin. Same with the microcurrent. You can, ideally, because microcurrent incorporates galvanic, you're driving in that Zen Therapy gel. Okay? You're driving in the peptides. So it's money. I don't know what else to say. It's awesome. The supernatural vitamin A, I kind of skipped ahead earlier and talked about that, but again, it's your natural retinol. It is phenomenal, and it's how we get people off the toxic retinols. You know, it's not so much if they don't care, as she was asking, you know, if they don't care about the organic thing, you need to understand that retinols can thin the skin in European descent women and men. So they need to understand that they do start to get crepey, they get capillary damage. Retin A is not our friend. So get them on the our vitamin A, please. Oceana Mineral Gel, this is where you see the mineral gel. Again, this can be your acne moisturizer for your kids. But also I recommend the mineral gel to everyone. That it's nutrient rich. And it can be cocktailed in one little squirt into the moisturizer, or it can be used alone. My daughter likes to use it with the Lift and Firm around her eyes. She's 23, she thinks she's got like facts. But she swears by it. Starts young. So the Lifton firm is, if we have a bad water on this, it's like everybody's gonna kill us. People love the Lifton firm. It does firm the skin, it tightens the skin using nutrient-rich botanicals. It's brilliant. It can either be a cocktail item or again, it can be used topically, use like a full pump of it to go over the face and neck and chest, and then you can incorporate the moisturizer on top of it.
I had a client who used to live in Vermont, and she said it looked like her grandma uses different styles.
Yeah, she just used too much, probably. Yeah, and I don't know what else she had on her skin right before it, so she probably just used too much. The Zen will do the same thing. But people do, have good luck with doing it, like full face of it. She probably did a lot. She might have residue. Oh, no. Yeah, maybe she had a residue of something else. I mean, we just never know. We don't have all control of what people do at home. Okay, so another money item, the vitamin C. I love the vitamin C because remember, we need the vitamin C topically to synthesize collagen. The vitamin C helps heal the skin. It helps with hyperpigmentation. It's anti-inflammatory. It increases collagen production. As I told you, I was working for the derm. It was making me sell an eye cream, and I said it was inert. And I knew it was inert. It was in a clear container. Vitamin C is very unstable, and they claim to stabilize vitamin C. That's a synthetic vitamin C. Vitamin C has to be in pure, and you can Google this. This is not just us telling you this. It has to be in powder form. It has to be, if it's going to do anything. So people do complain about the consistency, like, oh, I'm going to mix it, and I can still deliver it. Forget about it. They have to understand how important this is. If they want anti-aging benefits, if they want the benefits of vitamin C, period, this is the form it comes in, and that's it. So if you just explain it to them, the complaints go away. That maybe they didn't mix it well enough, and usually you have the crystals absorbed, but that's what activates the vitamin C. Otherwise, it's inert. It's not going to do anything. It's sitting in a jar for 3 months on a shelf. Okay, Floral Bliss, again, everything's a cocktail everything. This helps you. We don't use, remember we talked about not using a ton of water or a company. We can always get more mix out of everything with the Hydro Blend and Floral Bliss. The Hydro Blend can hydrate you throughout the day. You'll see me do the treatment, so you'll see me use the Floral Bliss post stem cell application. The rose is a natural liposome that helps us, the products go in deeper. Okay, so the sunscreen. Sunscreen is such an important thing, and we don't talk about it enough. If we're doing these peels where we talk about doing that weekly lactic or glycolic, we have to have sunscreen. And most people are cherry pickers with sunscreen. Our sunscreen, we use micronized zinc oxide. It's creating a barrier, like you're putting something over the skin to reflect the light rays. Like this piece of paper is white, it's working to reflect the light rays. Most sunscreens are chemical sunscreens. That's why you have to put them on the skin. They're supposed to go in and protect the melanin, but those chemicals are cancer-causing chemicals. And they've done tests where they put it on a child of 5 years old, and he's urinating in the test. He's urinating out the chemicals 30 minutes later. So that means these chemicals just went through his liver, his kidneys, and are in his blood now. So sunscreen is a very dangerous thing. And when I first went to a natural doctor, that Dr. Aguilar knew, he saw some sunscreen on my arm and said, "Oh, you're gonna get cancer." And I was like, "Okay, first of all, it's mean. Don't say that to anybody." But getting the education, I understood, it's actually causing cell suicide and apoptosis, as Dr. Aguilar said. It's also putting carcinogens on your skin. You need antioxidants on your skin. There's already carcinogens in the air. We don't need to be putting them on the skin already. So not only topically causing transdermal, skin damage and causing premature aging. So the sun, sometimes the sunscreen is more dangerous than the sun in this instance. So I know it's organic, it's sunscreen, and it's got a white, but get over it. You have to use it, and your clients have to use it. And they have to reapply it every hour in direct sunlight. I'm sorry, it's true. Oh, and it's also safe for the reefs, and very few can tout that, trust me.
Safe for the reefs?
For the reefs.
Sunscreen kills the reefs.
Sunscreen kills the reefs because, again, look at them. They're petroleum-based chemicals that also kill your liver. I mean, why would somebody lie about the reefs and live for that?
They're always asking also if they're higher SPF.
Well, you don't need the SPF. SPF is just, it's an FDA issue. You know, they require an SPF factor, but remember what I said about the block. You're basically putting on something white that's reflecting the light rays. You're not waiting for it to absorb to affect the sun protection. So you're reflecting the light rays off the skin.
They're saying it's 28 is going to be really high, or is that plenty?
It's plenty. It's an oxide. It's reflecting the light rays on the skin. So if they do complain about how pasty it is, I mean, it can be cocktailed with the Floral Bliss to kind of thin it a bit for people who maybe aren't as pale as I am. You know, and some people need to kind of dilute it a little. But it's great for everyone, and we must use it, and we must encourage them to use it. We posted on our Facebook page a picture of a truck driver who you just see the left side of his face from all the years of driving, and I mean, it is profound what the sun does.
Quick thing too, people ask, it's such a small container. We do have it in a 4-ounce size, but I just put a dot, and a dot, and put water and spread it on because it doesn't have to go in. And yes, I'm tan. You're still going to get tan, but you're not going to get the harmful rays. So I can make this little bottle last for so long. It's crazy.
I don't want to get a tan anymore, so I just had to listen. Okay, so.
Sorry.
That's okay. The anti-wrinkle booster drops, all the boosters these are dense nutrition as well. These are not just aromatherapy oils, these are medicine. So we have quite a variety of them. We have the anti-wrinkle, we have the elasticity, we have the moisturizing, after application of stem cells, I love to add extra elasticity or moisturizing. If you've got a woman who's already crepey under eyes, if you use the Fermi ampule, this is just esthetician I'm talking now. You've got to do something so that when they sit up, their eyes don't look crepey from the stem cells. I mean, because they think you've actually done something harmful, and we've had some situations where that's happened, where a woman drives off and her skin's just getting drier, tighter, and tighter. And you must use, the moisturizers and some of the booster oils, because when we use the Fermi ampule, it does tend to close the pores down to prepubescent size, and the skin gets very dry and tight until the oil, the sebaceous glands start pumping out the oil again, which is usually an hour later. But you just don't want them to sit up. The first thing they do is jump in front of that mirror. You've got to remember to make sure they're not seeing more crepiness around their already crepey areas. Hydrate them after. I love the boosters from this, and you'll see I'll do it in the practical